This is CBB Today. I'm Spencer Ostroff, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to do a little bit of a game preview, and I don't typically do these, but I feel like I have to. Not only because I'm going to be at this game, but because it's one of the most highly anticipated games we'll ever see. It's number 1 Michigan against number 3 Duke. Now, yes, I will be at press row for this game, so make sure to follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't already. Without further ado, we'll hop straight into the game preview, and I'll give you my predictions. Alright, so I hope you guys are excited for this game, because honestly, this is like unprecedented. We don't see this very often, this late in the season when it's not March Madness, in a non-conference matchup between two teams ranked in the top 2 in KenPom. Like, it's actually insane. Michigan obviously just got a massive win at Mackey, and that game wasn't as close as the final score. They ended up winning 91-80, but they controlled that game wire to wire, basically. Duke, they just killed Syracuse. Obviously, they lost at UNC a couple weeks ago, but look, they easily could have won that game, and they easily could have won the Texas Tech game at the Garden. This team could be undefeated. Michigan could be undefeated as well, but they're not. So let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the spread, the analytics, all that, and then we'll get into the players, and then we'll get into my prediction. So, currently, Michigan is favored by 2.5 points. This game is on a neutral site at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Now, this is going to be great because it's an NBA arena, and look, the ticket prices are out of this world. I cannot stress enough how insane it is. The cheapest ticket right now on SeatGeek is like $400. I luckily will be on press row. I have media credentials for the game, so I will be covering it on Twitter, and I also do some vlog-style content of my trip down there because I am in New Jersey, so I have to go down to D.C. I'm going to go down to Baltimore the day before, but you guys don't care about that. You guys care about the game. So, the over-under is 148.5, which seems pretty standard. Obviously, both these teams can score, but they both have very, very, very good defenses. Duke's isn't as good as Michigan's, but it has improved mightily throughout the year. Michigan's 25-1, Duke's 24-2. The ESPN analytics have Michigan at a 48.7% chance to win. Obviously, that means Duke is at 51.3. It's been like it was like that before the Purdue game. I don't know if it hasn't updated or if it's just going to stay that way, but I find it hard to believe that their analytics have Duke favored to win. And that's not to take anything away from Duke, but Michigan, they just look like a well-oiled machine. So, yeah, I mean, look, this game is going to be a lot of fun. I'm very, very excited. I've been looking forward to it all week. Let's get into some of the players, who to look out for, maybe some X factors for each team. So let's start off with the Michigan Wolverines. Obviously, their leader, the engine that makes them run. Let's say that. I don't know if that makes sense, but you know what I'm talking about. Yaxel Endemore, the UAB transfer, one of the best players in the country. If he was on a different team, he'd probably be more in the running for National Player of the Year, but he doesn't need to put up crazy stats. He plays his role. He's not going to try and do too much, and he's going to play good defense, which I know Michigan fans love seeing him pick up Braden Smith full court, stuff like that. He's averaging 14.4 points a game, 7.5 rebounds in 28.7 minutes a game. I'm expecting him to play 37 minutes this Saturday, and he's going to, he'll probably be on Cam Boozer a bit. He will probably be on, Malik Brown some, but it's going to be interesting because you could also put Merez Johnson on Cam Boozer, so I'm curious to see what Dusty May does. But yeah, to round out the front court, you also have Merez Johnson, you have Adai Mara, so that front court battle is going to be amazing. Adai Mara, it seems like his motor's starting to get better. His stamina is starting to improve, it was a big concern for me when, he'd play 3 minutes and then have to come out and blah, blah, blah. Keep doing that over and over. It's starting to look like he's starting to be able to play in bigger spurts, which is dangerous for the rest of the country. So, yeah, obviously the front court. The back court for Michigan. Ellie Cadeau against Purdue had 17 points, 7 assists. His three-point shooting is just, it's unreal now. I mean, the guy's shooting 40% from 3. At UNC last year, other teams were giving him the Ben Simmons treatment. Like, legitimately. They were daring him to shoot, and he wasn't even shooting it. Now he is a legitimate threat from beyond the arc, and that is terrifying. Namari Burnett, we know he's a sniper. That's, like, basically, I don't want to say that's all he does. I don't want to downplay his ability, but the guy is, he's made a living off of being a great catch-and-shoot three-point shooter. And then yesterday, the backcourt duo off the bench, the tandem of LJ Kaysen and Trey McKinney, they combined for 26 points. They each had 13. Look, if they're going to do that off the bench, this Michigan team is going to be unbeatable. It's pretty much that simple. If you're going to get 17 and 7 from Elliott as your starting point guard, and then your 2 point shooting guards off the bench are going to do that, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Get your Michigan futures in now if that's the case. We'll get a good idea of it against Duke this Saturday. So, look, Roddy Gale plays his role well. Will Cheddar, although his minutes are way down, when he's in the game, he's playing hard, he's playing good D, and he's making the open three. That's all you can really ask for if you're a Michigan fan, if you're a coach. So, look, well-oiled machine. I've been saying it since November. Yes, have they had a few hiccups, like against Wisconsin and against, I guess if you want to call the Northwestern game a hiccup or the Penn State game a hiccup, sure. But in general, this is a well-oiled machine. We saw it against Purdue at Mackey, one of the toughest places to play in the country. They rose to the occasion. And yes, did they shoot 13 of 23 from beyond the arc? Yeah. Are they always going to do that? No. Is it scary that they are capable of doing that? Yeah. So that's my player preview for Michigan. I guess if there's a few players to look out for, Merez Johnson, he didn't have his best game yesterday against Purdue. Look for him to have a nice bounce-back game. And then Trey McKinney, he's slowly improved. 5-star All-American coming into the year, or McDonald's All-American coming into the year. His minutes have slowly ticked up. He's become more involved in the offense. So, yeah, look out for him. Those are my 2 X factors. If you can get a couple threes from McKinney off the bench, maybe 10, 12 points. And if Merez Johnson can give you, 14 and 8, stay out of foul trouble, play some good defense, it'll be tough to beat Michigan. So with that being said, let's move on to Duke and their players to look out for. Now we all know the head of the snake that is the Duke Blue Devils is Cameron Boozer. He's going to probably win the Wooden Award. He's having just an unreal year. He's averaging 22.8 points per game. He is shooting 58% from the field, 76.8% from the free throw line, and almost 40% from 3. He's also averaging 10 rebounds a game. So, almost 23 and 10 as a freshman it's diabolical. That's the best way to put it. It's diabolical. I'm curious to see how he's going to play against a front court as good as Michigan's. He has not seen a front court like this. Dusty May will have a plan to make other people on Duke beat them. That will be the plan. I'm almost confident he's not going to let Cam Boozer beat them. A lot of games, he might miss a layup, he gets his own board, goes right back up. I don't see that happening much against Michigan when you have Yax, Merez, and Adai Mara just down low. It's like a forest down there. It's going to be tough. Look, he's going to have to hit some shots from outside. He might have to knock down a couple threes. Or someone is just going to have to go nuclear from beyond the arc, like maybe a Dame Sarr, right? Caleb Foster, something like that. Isaiah Evans, obviously, he is maybe their best pure scorer. He's very hot and cold. I think we all know this. He shoots 36% from 3, which is actually really solid considering how many 3-point attempts he puts up a game. They're going to need a big game out of him. And they're going to need him to play some good defense, which he hasn't always done this year, but they're going to need it. You're going to need everyone to play a perfect game on the defensive end. You're not going to need everyone to be perfect on offense. And obviously, we have to wait and see how this game looks. But on the defensive end, you need to be perfect at all times. Or else, if you're not for a second, Michigan's going to find the open man, they're going to find the open cutter, and they're going to score. Patrick Gungba, he had a little bit of a weird stretch. He wasn't that big of a factor, but he's figured it out. He's averaging 10.6 points per game, 6.2 rebounds. Look, they are, again, going to need a big game out of him. They're going to need him to bang down low, bang down low with Merez Johnson. That's just what you're going to need, and you're going to have to stay out of foul trouble. So, those are their 3 guys. Caleb Foster, I have not talked about him much since the beginning of December. I think it was December 6th when they played Michigan State. And I said, look, Caleb Foster, John Shire does not want 15 points out of you. He doesn't want, 5 threes. He wants you to not even stop Jeremy Fears, but contain him. And that's what he's going to want with you. Look, he's going to want you to score a bit. He's going to want you to facilitate, but he wants you to lock up Elliott. That's your assignment. Don't let Elliott go for 17 and 7 like he did against Purdue. So, yeah, again, They're not expecting you to totally stop, whichever guards you're guarding in this matchup, but try, contain them, right? Caden Boozer, I think, had his best game of the season the other day. So build off of that. Obviously, he gets very, very overshadowed because of Cam. But Caden Boozer, he can play, okay? We've all seen, the Nepo stuff, all these jokes online. He's better than people give him credit for. They're going to need someone that doesn't typically give them 12 to 13 points to do something like that. Whether it's Caden Boozer, Malik Brown, Dame Sarr, Darren Harris, who played a little more last game. Look, we'll see. I don't know. This Duke team is a lot better than I thought they were a few months ago. A few months ago, when they were struggling a bit in ACC play, I was a little worried about them. I'm not going to lie. But now, people have said this team has, the highest floor in the country, and I kind of agree with that. They haven't really slipped up. Besides, if you're one slip up in conference plays at UNC, then sure, big whoop. Who cares? You should have probably won that game. Seth Trimble, I'm pretty sure has not made a three since that game-winning three. So, yeah. Those are the Duke players, and now let's get into my game predictions. So let's get into a little bit of a prediction. Now, I'm not very good at these. I'm not going to lie. I'm usually way off, and you can ask my FanDuel account. It's straight red. It's been red for the better half of a month. So, look, if I'm picking your team to win, you should not be happy about it. You should be happy if you like the opposite team. With that being said, Michigan is favored by 2.5 points. I think this spread should be closer to 6.5. I think Michigan is that good. And I think Michigan wins 77-68. That is my official prediction, which means Duke will probably win now. But I got to make a prediction, and I'm going to stick with my gut. I think Michigan's the best team in the country, and I'll go a step further. I guarantee that they win this game. I am that confident. I will not be betting on it, but I am that confident that Michigan will win this game. We can circle back to this on Sunday or Saturday night, whatever. We'll circle back. We'll come back to this prediction. Duke fans, bookmark it. You can come at me if I'm wrong. And Michigan fans, I'm sorry if I am the reason that they end up losing. It's not my fault, but I'm sorry anyway. And yeah, I'm very excited for this game. I hope you guys are too. Let me know who you guys think is going to win this game. And please, some people that aren't Michigan or Duke fans, let me know so I can get some other unbiased opinions on who's going to win. Because I don't want Duke fans telling me, oh, Duke's going to win, and Michigan fans saying Michigan's going to win. Obviously you guys are going to say that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what type of video you'd want to see next. We have an AP poll reaction coming out Monday. We're going to have a bunch of short-form content coming out from now until Sunday. And then March Madness, we're going to have videos coming out every single day. It's going to be crazy. I'm so excited. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys on Monday. CBB today. Peace.